something.
I will destroy them all.
Welcome to the Coordinate, humanity's last stand against bigger humanities that are going to eat us. Hi, welcome to the Coordinate. Yes, there's just bigger people that are going to eat us, Tyler.
Just bigger people. That reminds me, we got a review.
We've got a review?
Yeah, we got a review.
Wow.
We should probably introduce who we are first.
Do you mean people are listening?
One person is listening.
Excellent. Yes. Hello, my name's Bill. I'm here in the UK doing UK things, not being eaten by giant people.
And you've read how much?
I've read how much? I've read up to chapter 14 as of about 6 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I love living by the seat of my pants, I do.
And I'm Tyler, and I've read through chapter 121. We're recording this one a little early, so by the time this comes out, I will have read 122. So
122, yes, which comes out shortly.
Yeah.
And hopefully this podcast will be out on a date. A date that exists. But yes, so last time we went through chapters 1 and 2.
And this time, we're going through a lot more chapters.
We are. So I don't think we'll go quite as in-depth as last time.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's plenty to talk about on this. But just for a little quick recap for our listeners. Last time on the Coordinate, a huge titan turned up and smashed a hole through a wall with its deformed foot.
And then another slightly smaller, but still huge, titan smashed another hole in another wall.
Yeah, basically, there's a lot of titans. They love smashing holes through walls, or more specifically, gates on the wall. If you've got a garden gate, they're going to come kick it in.
Why don't they just
don't
make the gate
gates.
out of the same thing they make the walls out of?
Spoilers.
Let me read our review and remind people to go review us.
Yes.
On iTunes. It's nice. And it's what gets Bill through the day.
It does. Literally, otherwise, if you don't review us, I'm just going to, just offer myself up as sacrifice for the Titans.
So this is a 5-star review, and it says, "This is a cool book club. One host has been reading the manga, and the other is new to it. Both are charismatic and charming and undeniably handsome." This is like not the review, but that's slightly worrisome. I don't think you have a picture of yourself on Twitter.
Not of my. I have done it over in the past. I think at the moment it's a picture of a game called Ghostline. So.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, this person goes on to say,
he's right though. I'm incredibly handsome and modest.
"I'd let giant versions of them eat me whole any day, and that was my turtle power, whoever that is."
Yeah, I've no idea who that is. But yes, turtle power. Thank you.
Yep, thanks for the review.
I'm coming to your house for dinner. And you're on the menu.
All right, so you want to start out with the brief summary, and then we can dive into some sections we thought were interesting?
Yes, well, do you want to do the whole 14 chapter summary?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can start. So, starting in chapter 3, and I believe this arc is called the Battle of Trost. Is that correct?
Yes, the Battle of Trost District.
Okay. So, to set the scene, people, you got to imagine this in your head, in your mind's eye.
The year is 850. We're not sure what exactly that means, but this is 5 years after the last arc.
Yes, and 2,000 years before something else that we don't know about.
Jesus.
2,000 years before Jesus. And yes, so we had the fall of the first wall, which was Wall Maria?
Yes.
Yes. And so basically, humans all live inside a big pig pen, and there's 3 walls to the pig pen. So last time the outer wall was breached and the entire inside part of that wall was then taken over. And then that's where we are now. So we're starting off in chapter 3, and it's training time for all of our gang. And they don't particularly like each other. And they sort of, Erin's just basically a bit of a dick to everyone.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to be hardcore. Because Erin's pretty hardcore. So Erin seems to be our main character so far. And his dad's the one with the strange sex basement. just to remind people, Erin's dad has a sex basement, which was in the first town that was destroyed last chapter.
Yep. And we'll learn more about a sex basement soon-ish, maybe.
We will. There is some more sex basement stuff coming up, which I'm very excited about. It's just we just see like little things of them training. Erin gets into a fight with someone who wants to join
the military police.
Yeah, is it the garrison?
He wanted to join the military police because they're the ones in the inner wall, which is like the safest, and they're like the most privileged, and they get good food.
Yeah, but you have to finish top of your class to get that privilege, basically. And Erin's just like basically anyone who doesn't want to join the Survey Corps, which is the ones they keep sending out to get killed by Titans. Is basically a pussy, and then he just likes to get into fights with them. But yes.
Yeah, speaking about dying, since like humanity had to go back behind like the largest area when that wall Maria got taken down, they actually sent out troops to attack the Titans purposely for the troops to die, killing 20% of humanity so that they would have enough food to survive. Does
that come up now? Because I had that written down as a note for a later chapter.
On. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. They do.
And theoretically, listeners have read all of this, so we can talk about it in out of order.
Yeah. So the idea is that when the wall fell, because of the influx of refugees into the inner two walls, they didn't have enough food to feed people. So under the pretense of a war, and we're going to take back Maria. That sounds like a fun game. That's a Saturday night out, I think. Take back Maria. And they just sent out 20% of the population, dead on. Not one more, not one less. To basically be food for the Titans so that everyone else would have enough food to eat and live. Yep, and that was 5 years ago. But in chapter 3, rather unfortunately, while our good gang, so you got Erin, Moose Knuckle, and I don't think Armin's there, is he, in this bit, if I remember rightly?
I don't think so. If you're talking about when Erin picks the fight.
No, not when Erin picks the fight. They're all standing on top of the wall, and the huge Colossus Titan turns back up.
Oh, yeah.
And this time his arm's deformed.
He's always a little weird looking.
Yeah, he's always got one limb out of action.
Yeah. Before that happens, though, they run into Mr. Haynes, the guy who tried to save Erin's mother, and he mentions that Erin's father's been missing since then.
Yeah. Erin's father went missing after the Wall Maria thing. Now, you'd assume he just got eaten, but I think he was seen after the incident was kind of resolved.
Yes. Yeah, because Erin has like this flashback during this part where he sees his dad like about to inject him with some kind of serum, and he's like, "Dad, you've been acting crazy since Mom died."
Yes. Dad, please don't roofie me. I don't want to go to your sex dungeon. Lots of weirdness going on there. But the injection to the arm. And then so is it after that we then see the gang sort of standing on top of the wall, and then the big guy shows back up to smash another gate in. He's just going to blow your gates away.
And then basically the gang just like gets into it. Like Erin goes straight after the Colossus Titan.
Yeah, he's just like, bang on, I'm going to kill this thing. It's just like, he's still a trainee as well. It's just like they were on top of the wall, I think, like helping reload some of the cannons that they've got.
Yeah, well, they just graduated, so they're kind of just like hanging out, I guess, before they get like their jobs. So
hanging out with their special gear on attached, their special Spider-Man gear. And he goes after the Titan. He's about to make the killing blow, and then the Titan just disappears. But he's already done his damage. He's already smashed a hole into Wall. Is it Wall? It's Wall Rose, isn't it? This one.
I do not know. I always forget the orders because there's Sheena is one of them, and I'm not sure if that's the inner wall or the second one.
Maybe this is Maria. I was an expert 6 minutes ago. Yeah, maybe it's Maria then.
I'm Googling.
Googling.
Frantic Googling.
The podcaster's dream. We all love a frantic thing. But yeah, that's all that really happens in chapter 3. And while Tyler looks up our wall our wall guide.
Oh, okay, I got it. So Wall Maria is the outer wall, then it's Wall Rose, then it's Wall Sheena. So you were right.
So Maria's the outer wall, Wall Rose, and then Shima on the inside. Right, okay, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There you go. So it was fresh in my memory. Perfect. And yeah, that's basically chapter 3 in a nutshell. So did you want to go over what's bits from chapter 3 that you wanted to talk about, or do you want to go through all the chapters?
Let's just go through all the chapters. We don't even have to go through chapter by chapter. We can just do the story, and then we'll come back.
Right, okay. Yeah, so carrying on towards chapter 14.
Yeah. So, then, like everyone divides up. They have like the really good at fighting people in the rear. So they want to, like let the weaklings do what they can do and then have them clean up.
Yeah, I find that really strange. They call it the Vanguard, don't they? But it's basically like the Harry Curie team. You guys, sacrifice yourself.
Yeah.
Trainees, you all go in the middle. And the elite forces, you go to the back. We can't afford to lose you.
And there's this one character named Thomas who I do not remember at all.
No, I didn't remember him as well. Especially as there is another character later on also called Tom, who's like in charge of a troop.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but this one's called Thomas.
I quickly figured out why I don't remember Thomas. Because he just like straight up jumps in a Titan's mouth and dies like real quick.
Yeah, his entire plot point is to just make Erin mad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's such a strange one. So Thomas, he's like, yeah, come on, let's go kill some Titans, because there's some coming towards him, and he swings off to action, and then immediately just gets caught by one, put in the mouth, and swallowed.
Yep.
But I like this one because it's one of the few times that a Titan doesn't actually just like bite something in half; it just goes, then it goes, and then this pisses Erin off to no end. So Erin goes in like a ball in the china shop and swings off to action as well to try and kill this thing, and doesn't spot the fact that there is a Titan underneath him that does like a sort of a weird fish thing, just jumps up
Chomp.
and snaps off his leg.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's just like shocking, man. I have to say, I remember this bit in the anime, and just being like, "Oh my god, our main character's lost his leg."
Yeah,
like,
I was like, what?
It's just like, is he just going to get like a peg leg and just carry on fighting? Because I assume it wouldn't affect his mobility much using his Spider-Man gear. But
well, actually, how they control it is like loops that go over their legs. So I mean, I guess they would be able to still with a peg leg, but I don't know.
Yeah, I assume you could just put those straps on your peg and off you go.
Strap on your peg, and here you go.
And then basically, at this point, it all goes to crap. So because he was in mid-motion when he lost his leg, he sort of falls on top of a roof. Yeah. And he's almost like passing out on top of this roof. And then we just get a scene where we just see basically his entire squad just gradually getting eaten one by one.
Yep. Armin jumps in a Titan's mouth and...
well, no, I don't think he even jumps in a Titan's mouth, does he? Armin's just like sitting there, just being like, "Oh man, I'm watching everybody die."
Yeah, he's like freaking out a little bit.
He's just a manic, depressive, like internal monologue, isn't it? Like, why do I have to be the one to watch my friends die? It's like, well, because you're not fucking doing anything. You're sitting on top of a roof in your knees, and then good old Santa Claus Titan comes up behind you with his nice bushy beard, just picks you up and drops you in his mouth.
Yeah.
And it's only when you start to slide down his gullet that you start complaining. No. And at this point, I think actually before this all happens, we get the handy little how to kill a Titan backflash.
Yeah, so they're in class and you learn like the nape is their weak spot.
Yeah, because they show you when like humanity 100 years ago started blowing their heads off with cannons, and their heads would just grow back out of like mist.
Yep.
Steamy mist, which is really hot apparently. And apparently you have to cut out a section of their neck and they die. Mm-hmm. Which will become apparent in the future. But yes, for now, that's all we know. But we get a little flashback to like, hey, this is how you kill a Titan, because it's going to be handy because we're going to kill a few Titans in a minute.
Yeah, and we also learned that they're only interested in eating people. And
Yes.
apparently they don't even necessarily need to eat.
Yeah, because like we said, the human pig pen has been in existence, has been around for about 100 years. And so all the titans in the wild haven't eaten anything for 100 years and they're still alive. So, yeah, they correctly summarize that titans probably don't need humans to live. But for some reason, every time they see a human, all they want to do is eat it. I assume it's like catnip. Cats don't need it, but they go crazy for it.
Yes.
But yes, Armin is currently sliding down the gullet of Santa Claus Titan, and and this prompts Eren to somehow get off his one leg, come over. He jumps into the Titan's mouth, pulls Armin out, throws him onto the roof, and then holds out his hand to Armin, and the Titan just bites it off
Yep.
and swallows him. And that is the death of Eren.
Eren has a really good line that he goes out on. He goes, "Think I'm going to die here?" ? And then he dies.
Yeah, and then off comes his arm and he dies. And yeah, again, like I said, in the anime, when this episode ended, and it ended on Eren's death, minus a bit of Armin being a bit like, I was just like, oh my god, they've killed off the main character in the first couple of episodes.
Yeah, it's like the whole thing's a flashback, I guess.
I found it super, super shocking. And then I just assumed Armin was going to become the main character from here on. As he deals with his grief.
He just cries.
But yes, so more and more Titans are coming in. And Armin's just sort of sitting around having a bit of a tough time of it. With his inner monologue. There's a lot of inner monologues in this of just people going, we're all going to die. So I'm going to try and skip over those because we don't really need to cover the fact that everybody's shitting their pants.
Yeah, so basically Armin meets up with another group. They're like, hey, where'd your group go? And Armin's like, oh, they're dead. And then we switch over to Mikasa, who is just being a badass. And there's a Titan charging at a group of people that are supposed to be like escaping through the gate. But there's like a merchant with his horse and cart blocking the way.
Evil capitalist businessman.
Yeah.
I like the way he's portrayed. This is still a Japanese manga. The evil American-looking capitalist is blocking the way from everyone else getting out, saying his goods are more important than everyone else's life.
Well, I really like how when Mikasa takes down the Titan, she surfs it.
Yeah, up to the crowd of people.
Yeah.
It's so good. Because I think this is the first time we get mention of an abnormal Titan. Mm-hmm. Abnormal Titan. Which, again, they haven't really gone into details yet on what abnormal is, but most Titans, they just sort of plod along. But because they're so big, you can't really outrun them, even though they're just plodding along. Whereas abnormal Titans seem to run and snap and super hyper aggressive.
Yeah, and they seem to be slightly intelligent, maybe?
Yeah, maybe slightly more than your average Titan. Because, the Colossus Titan is called... what did they call them? They're special Titans, aren't they? The Colossal and the Armored Titan.
They still call them abnormals.
Oh, are they? Oh, I thought they had a different name. Oh, okay. I'm just going crazy. But yeah, so this abnormal Titan is legging it towards the crowd of people who are being held up by the evil capitalist businessman. I love this guy. I'm going to call him Richard Branson. So Richard Branson's blocking the way through. I should have gone for Donald Trump.
It's too late. You can't go back.
Or Alan Sugar. Think of your generic businessman. Oh, actually, he does look a bit like Alan Sugar. But he's blocking the way through, and all these people are outside. They think they're going to get eaten, and Mikasa just sort of turns up out of nowhere, flying along. She cuts the back of its nape, lands on its head. Its head falls to the floor. She's on its head and just sort of surfs towards the people, and it just stops before him. She's like, "Hey, what's going on here? You guys should have evacuated." Yeah. Well, I like to think of her she's like a Bill and Ted type, but she's so serious all the time.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, she is serious.
Having just watched the anime, she doesn't talk that much in the anime, so I was surprised reading this scene again where she's threatening the businessman. She talks so much.
Well, the thing is, when you read it, she doesn't actually say anything to him. He's just like, I'm so important, you can't make me. And then she's like, it looks like there's just a blank scene where she's almost whispering to him. And then he goes, okay, you can go.
Oh, I
Move
can't
it out the way.
remember exactly what she says, but she basically says something about like it'll be easy to move a corpse.
Oh yeah, I think yeah, it's something like that. But on the one when I was reading it today, I had to go over that like 3 times. Just like she doesn't say anything to him. This is blank. On the manga, it's just blank. She's just like it's just like a grey like a scene where it's all darkened around her and her mouth's open. He just sort of like looks really scared and he's like, yeah, move the stuff out of the way. She's got a point. She's like, yeah. So yeah, I think she threatens to basically kill Richard Branson,
Yep.
and he shits his pants and moves the thing out of the way. So then finally, the rest of the people can evacuate out of this town, out of Trost. At which point she's happy, so she's just like, okay, I'm going to go find Erin because if he dies, I can't live.
Yep. And then she's like, why am I having this flashback? Where is this coming from? Flashback.
It's so funny because she actually says that.
Yeah, she's like, why am I remembering this right now?
Why am I remembering this at this moment? And yeah, we get the flashback to
844.
844 when her parents were killed. Man, my only notes on this section is Psycho Erin.
Yeah. So so it's just her and her parents hanging out. She's like, "Hey mom, how do you make a child?" Which is a weird way for a kid to phrase that question. And her mom's like, "Ask your father." And then her father's like, "Dr. Yeager will be here in a minute. I'm sure he could tell you how it works."
See, when your dad's been to the pub all day and he's had too much to drink. Yes. So anyway, beyond making a children,
Dr. Yeager's got a sex dungeon. He can tell you how to make a baby.
Yeah. Dr. Yeager has he impregnates all the women in his sex dungeon. So you have to wait until he arrives. But there's a knock at the door. Oh, but it's not Dr. Yeager. The Jägermeister.
It's 3 dudes who
was
want
it 3?
to. Yeah,
I think it was only 2
dudes.
in what I was watching. Yeah,
It's
I thought
3.
it was only 2 when I was reading it.
It's 3 because later on Mikasa goes, after Eren takes down 2 of them, Mikasa goes, there were 3.
Oh yeah.
And then he comes out and attacks Eren. But yeah. So these guys are trying to like kidnap Mikasa's mom and Mikasa, since they're the last Asians alive, and use them for human trafficking.
Yeah, so, apparently there's a huge human sex trafficking. I say sex. I just assumed it was sex.
Yeah.
Because they only want Asian women. But yeah, apparently during the 100 years ago when the Titans arrived and started wiping people out, I assume wherever we are is either like in America or somewhere in like Middle Europe.
Yeah, basically like the normal, like the most people in this are German-ish.
It does seem that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does seem very, like I say, Middle Europe, Middle European sort of German, Hungarian sort of look and feel to the whole thing. And yeah, these guys are saying like, we want to. Well, they're actually having a go at each other, aren't they? Because one of them killed the mother when they tried to break in. And he's just like, you idiot! The mother was the pure blood. We'd got more money for her.
Yeah.
The daughter's only a half-breed Asian. But yeah, we find out that apparently not many.
Awful.
I know it does. Well, it is. I mean, this whole thing is so graphically violent.
Yeah.
In so many ways. So when they go really in depth on this, you kind of just breeze over it in your head. But yeah, what these 2 guys are trying to do is basically horrific. They're just trying to capture these 2 women living out in the sticks and sell them on because they're Asian. And not many Asians survived the apocalypse 100 years ago because it's in Germany or somewhere. Anyway, let's not talk about Germany and apocalypses.
Yep. So then Dr. Yeager shows up with Eren, and they just see Mikasa's dead parents, and they're like, "Oh shit!" And Eren's dad, Grisha, he's like, "Well, I'm gonna go get the military police. Eren, you stay over here. Don't do anything. Just stay here. I'm not taking you with me for some reason. Just stay here."
I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna tell you to stay here for plot points.
Yes. So then I don't even know like how Eren finds these people, but he finds wherever they took Mikasa to.
I seem to remember being more clear in the anime, but reading this, it's just we flick over to seeing Mikasa tied up on the floor, like lamenting her situation, remembering how her mum died when the guys broke in, and she tried to resist, so one of them hit her on the shoulder with an axe and basically just cut through the top half of her shoulder.
Yeah.
And then she watched her mum die and her dad die, and she's like just lamenting it. And then Erin just bursts in out of nowhere with a knife and jumps on this bloke and just stabs him over and over and over again, telling the guy he's an animal, so he deserves to die like a beast. It's just like, whoa, fuck me, Erin.
And then the next guy, this is the weirdest part to me. The next guy, Erin's had the time to like tie his knife to the end of a broom.
Yeah, I know.
And like charges at him.
Yeah, charges him and like slices him through the neck.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, yeah, Erin's had the time. Don't know where. I assume he got the rope off of Mikasa's restraints. Maybe.
No, because he cuts them after that. So yeah, I don't know how he made his knife broom, but he did.
Yeah, everyone needs a good knife broom to kill sex
because
that's the plot of Taken, isn't
it? Knife broom.
Yeah, knife broom.
Totally. But yeah, so he doesn't get the rope from Mikasa's where she's tied up, because then he goes to cut them, and then that's when Mikasa's like, "There were three."
And the other guy comes in and picks him up and holds Eren against the wall.
Yep. And then Eren's like, "Fight! If you don't fight, I die. We die."
Yep. And Mikasa gets up slowly, one small step at a time, creeps towards the guy who's got his back turned to her with a knife.
And then she goes Super Saiyan.
Yeah, she goes Super Saiyan and just plunges it through his back into his heart.
Yeah.
And then like the military turn up and just like, holy shit.
One stab straight through the heart?
Yeah,
God,
one stab straight through the heart. One's like in pieces on the floor. One's got his neck slit. These kids just like work their way through these hardened criminals like nothing.
Yeah. And Eren's dad's like, "Do you know what you just did?"
Do you know what you just did? He's just like, yeah, I put down some wild animals. They don't deserve to be given any more credit. It's like, yeah, good for you, Eren. You're the boy.
Yep. And so Eren's sadistic beginnings. Yeah, that's them.
Yeah, this is where we see Eren's sadistic streak, and how he's just like, it doesn't matter if you're Titan, doesn't matter if you're human. If you're a knobhead, he's gonna stab you multiple times. And then say you fell on his knife.
Yep.
Yeah, and then the next. So as we move on.
Well, there's one important thing to talk about there. Then Mikasa's cold, so Eren gives her his scarf, and she still wears it to this day. So
yes, and she basically vows to protect Eren forever. And Eren and Dr. Jaeger say, "Come on, you can come live with us," because she's like, "I've got nowhere to live."
Yeah. So one thing that's weird to me that I didn't realize before is that Mikasa had only been living with them for like a year before the wall got taken down. So.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize I assumed it would have been a couple of years, but
yeah, it seemed like they had been together for a while. But yeah, this was 844. The wall goes down at 845.
Oh wow, okay. So yeah, and then as long as Eren's around, she is the one.
Yep.
She will protect him. And then we move on to a guy blowing his brains out.
Yeah, so this guy is in the headquarters for, I guess, the military in this district, and it's just like absolutely covered in Titans. There's some smaller Titans inside. Yeah.
There's all big Titans climbing up over the edges. Everyone's in the middle, cowered around with some tables around them. Yeah, tables are going to fucking protect you from Titans.
Yeah. And so...
this guy looks so happy as well, isn't he? He's like, I've got my gun working. She's like, well, what good's... The woman next to him turns around and says, what good's that going to do? And he just puts it in his mouth and blows his brains out. She's like, I just cleaned this morning.
Yeah.
I just mopped here.
So these guys were supposed to be going to the headquarters to resupply everyone with gas for their maneuvering equipment. And then they just got trapped there.
Yeah. So they are stuck inside headquarters with nowhere to go, just Titans on the outside, slowly blowing their brains out one by one. And what's this? So and then we pop back to I think Sasha says she wants to. I think, is it Sasha? She's the one who's just like trying to rally the troops together and say, come on, let's go take HQ back. I'll be the vanguard. or as we like to call them, sacrificial troops.
I
And
think
then
that's
it goes.
Mikasa.
Well, no, I think it then flicks back to, I think because they're all on the building
Yeah, you're
watching
right. I see
the
it.
headquarters, and then it flicks to Mikasa, who, after taking care of Richard Branson, is just like, right, okay, my job here in being the elite force in the rear guard, or the scared pussy team, I'm going to go look for Eren and make sure he's all right, because she doesn't know that he's been devoured by Santa Claus yet. And then we go back to Armin. He's like basically catatonic after Eren's death.
Yep. Yeah, and he's with like Sasha and Connie's group. I think.
Yeah, the ones who were trying to think of a way of getting back into HQ. And then this is when Moose Knuckle turns back up and slaps him around a bit.
Yeah, she finds out Eren's dead.
Should we remind people that Moose Knuckle is Mikasa's nickname? That's canon from this. That's canon from last month's episode. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, you're remembering names this time. Like I'm surprised you remember who Sasha is. Like she plays such a small part.
No, she doesn't at this stage, but because she's the one who's like addicted
Potato
to
girl.
food yeah, she's Potato Girl addicted to food. So in the anime, she was one of my favorite characters. I thought she was brilliant. She was like the comedic relief, and I thought she was really well executed in that role. And especially when she has to do the serious stuff as well later on. But it's just like, yeah, I really like Sasha. So every time she pops up, I'm like, hey, Sasha. But yeah, as for Moose Knuckle, I still say like Mikasa, Mishka. I've got all these names floating around in my head. So I'm really trying hard to remember Mikasa Sukasa. But yeah, she slaps Armin around and makes him come to his senses a little bit, and then she rallies the rest of the troops, and she's like, "Come on, we'll go and we'll get the gas from the HQ so we can recharge our Spider-Man gear." And she flies off and runs out of gas.
Yep, and she reuses Eren's line from when he killed her attackers. And if we don't fight, we can't win.
And then suddenly a massive Titan comes up and starts having some sexy Titan on Titan action. Yeah, another Titan turns up and starts beating up the Titan that's about to eat Moose Knuckle. He just starts smacking it in the face, and they fall over and start rolling around in the ground. It did look a bit erotic, the rolling around on the ground scene, which is why I wrote sexy Titan fight. And then he basically gets up and stomps on its head until it's dead.
I think he punches this guy's head off.
No, that's the next chapter.
One?
Yeah, so
Okay.
the first one ends with Mikasa looking up at this huge Titan beating up another Titan, and she's just like, I didn't think Titans fought each other.
Yeah, and
Then it just starts stomping on its head, and then another Titan turns around, there's another Titan coming close to it, and he bitch slaps it. Swings his hand around with the back of his hand, hits it on the head, and he hits it so hard it literally tears its head off, and it goes flying towards all the other people watching on top of the
they're
roof.
like, oh fuck.
Titan head incoming, and jump out the way.
After this mysterious Titan kills the first Titan, Mikasa's like, I feel uplifted because this scene looks to me like the fury of the human race incarnate. So, yeah. Everyone, just for ease, everyone listening knows that this is Eren. So, we could just refer to this Titan as Eren.
Well, we don't find it out for another chapter. Okay, Titan Eren. So, yeah, the big Titan that starts fighting other Titans turns out to be Eren, which is crazy shit. But yeah, I love the head punch.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're treated to what I've put down here as the human buffet. So, again, Mikasa, she ran out of gas as soon as she took off from the building and fell to the floor. But all the other people who were there did start going off towards headquarters, and they were being led by this like blonde guy with short hair. I've put a note here saying, ask Tyler what his name was because I couldn't see it.
I don't remember which guy that was. So there's a couple of blonde guys. So it could have been John, who I always thought his name was Gene, and then I watched a little bit of the anime in here earlier because I kept getting him and Reiner and Thomas confused because they look very similar.
It might even be the guy he had a fight with in the
the
training session earlier.
That was John.
Okay, I think it's him. But he's the one who's just like, all these people are flying through the streets, trying to make it to HQ so that they can break in and try and get all the Titans out of HQ so that they can get the gas so they can recharge and go out and keep fighting. And basically, it's just like a massacre on the way there. Mm-hmm. So many people get grabbed and eaten and stomped on and stuff. It's just brilliant. It's so graphic. But this blonde guy, he's the one who makes it all the way to HQ with a couple of others, and then he starts having a go at all the other people inside HQ about why they didn't rescue the gas. And they're just like, we came in and we got surrounded. He's just, we couldn't do anything. And he's just like, it's your job to do something. This guy shot himself. I just mopped the floor. What was I supposed to do?
I didn't have a knife broom.
If only I had a knife broom. And then the guy from Taken can turn up and help. But yes, he turns up, and then one of the walls gets smashed in. There's this huge Titan head. He's just like, crap. Yep. And then, of course, the other Titan, who we now know as Eren, thank you, Tyler, he turns up and starts smacking away all the big Titans that are outside of HQ and starts trying to beat the crap out of them. And so this is the point where they decide on a really crazy plan that I just assumed was not going to work. So this blonde guy, he's the one who's just like, right, okay, there's an elevator lift, as we say in the UK, that will take people down to the basement, which is where all the gas is. And it's also where all the smaller Titans, like the ones that are like under 8 foot tall.
Yeah.
No, 8 foot? No, the ones that are sort
about
of
like
between
10
8
feet.
and 10. Yeah, between 8 and 10 feet tall. They've all sort of crept in down there. And now this is showing that there is some sort of intelligence in the Titans, because they've gone after the HQ so that they can't recharge themselves and keep fighting. So even though these are all the dumb Titans that are around HQ, there is some sort of intelligence going on with these beasts, more than we're being led onto, I think.
So they're attracted to large groups of people. So I'm assuming, most people evacuated. So in the HQ, there's like more people than there are everywhere else around.
I kind of got that was where it's hinting you towards, but at the same time, I was a bit like, I don't feel like it's enough people to attract that amount of Titans. I think there is a bit more intelligence going on, and we'll find out later on if that's true.
Yep. We'll find out.
We'll find out. But he comes up with this crazy plan of everyone gets into the lift and points their guns over the edges. We'll lower the lift down a little bit of the way, so all the Titans come into the middle, and then we'll start blowing their heads off as much as possible to distract them. And meanwhile, like our best couple of guys that are here with the Spider-Man equipment, who have still got some gas left, can fly around and start cutting them down until they're all dead. And I was just like, this is never going to work. This is gonna I was just like, this is never ever gonna work. Seriously, guys, come on. And then I love the scene as well where he says, and if it doesn't work, we can always go for their other weak point. And he pulls his sword out and goes, we can stick the swords up their asses.
Yeah. I
was just like, that's my favorite bit of this whole 14 chapters so far. Yeah. That's my favorite moment.
Yeah, that was Reiner who said that, and Connie's like, I didn't know there was a second way. And it's funny, I forgot that Connie was actually in like the top 10 graduates, because like he doesn't seem like he would be. He kind of seems like the like stupid one.
He is. I just love it though. It's there's a very old program here called Dad's Army, which is about a load of old people during the Second World War. And there's a very famous moment in that where one of them starts talking about the Germans and attaching his knife to the end of his gun and going, "Don't worry, Captain, they don't like it up 'em." And it just really reminded me of that. And it's just like, yep, Titans, they don't like it up 'em. They don't like a knife in their rear ends. Yeah. But yeah, I literally thought that plan was not going to work. But actually, apart from like one little moment where one of them, I think it's Sasha, almost gets eaten.
Yep.
It actually worked out really well.
Yeah, and I think Annie's the one who saves Sasha.
Yeah, and Annie's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't think Annie says a word this entire arc. But
No,
she's
you just
there
I see
pretty
you,
often.
yeah, you see her face, and she's just normally just like scowling at people.
Mhm.
But Annie is pretty awesome. And yeah. Well, we'll find out more about Annie later on. Not in these specific chapters.
In the same panel where Reiner makes that joke about shoving the sword up their ass. So like Connie's reaction is, I didn't know there was a second way. And Sasha, who is also not the smartest, is like, it's the first I've heard of it.
Yeah, well, Sasha is definitely not the smartest. Right, so where do we go from here? So they managed to get some gas.
Yep. So they get gas, they go outside, and they see that Aaron's Titan, which they don't know is Aaron, is being eaten by other Titans. So they're like, hey, he's got to be on our side, because they're after him.
Yeah, and he's literally like, they're just chewing him. I think they even mentioned cannibalism. It's like, I've never seen Titans do cannibalism.
So does Aaron get like eaten out at that point?
Is he eating out?
Yeah, so Aaron, like, I guess defeats them, and then he like comes out of his Titan body, and they're like, oh shit, it's Aaron. And so the next chapter is the only chapter I wrote down, because the name of it is Where's the Left Arm? Because Aaron gets his left arm chopped off.
Yeah, he's not looking in good shape, Aaron. He's being molested by these Titans, but he actually just fights them off. All of those guys are standing around watching it happen, and it's like, what should we do? And then I think it's when the Titan bites his arm off that he finally gets enough like traction to get free, and with his other arm, and then starts beating.
I was talking about this is the next chapter when it like flashes back to like Aaron getting eaten by a Titan. That's Where's the Left Arm.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Which is a good point. Since Aaron regenerates that left arm, how do we know that left arm didn't just regenerate an entire Aaron and now there's two Aarons?
Dun, 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 Aaronception. So yeah, you're talking about what I've put here is the gut anus.
Yeah, I know exactly what panel you're talking about.
Excellent. So we find out that so basically going back to this is the end of chapter 9. So Erin's fights off all these Titans, but it's too much for him. His Titan falls over. Titan Erin falls over, and then he basically gets birthed out the back of its neck. Mm-hmm. So we have this like rebirth scene of Erin, and everyone sees it, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, it was Erin!" Dum, dum, dum. So our main character is still alive. Now, did you want to talk about chapter 9.5 before we move into Gut Anus?
I can sum up chapter 9.5 real quick. So chapter 9.5, we see Survey Corps outside the wall. Erwin's like, hey, I think they might be breaking through the wall, and we see Levi kill a bunch of Titans, and then they go to the wall.
Yeah. Yep. Chapter 9.5 is actually called Captain Levi.
Yep. So it
and
introduces
it's just about how
Captain
awesome
Levi.
Captain Levi is. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like how when he kills Titans, he does this like spin attack where he just looks crazy.
Yeah. I like the fact as well, there's one Titan as well, it's like, oh, come on, can you just stand still so I can kill you already?
Yeah.
Stop moving. And yeah, it's just like he's got one of his dying soldiers who's just like about to be eaten by a Titan. Who's just like, you may eat me, but you're nothing to Captain Levi.
Yeah.
Like everyone looks up to this guy so much. It's ridiculous. Anyway, that's chapter 9.5, Captain Levi. Mm-hmm. And then, I've written here, goodbye left hand, hello anus gut. And it's basically weird. This is flashing back to the moment where Erin gets eaten by Santa Claus Titan. Mm-hmm. And so his arm gets bitten off, he slides down this Titan's gullet into its belly, and he's kind of looking up at what looks like just a giant anus.
Yeah.
But it might be how the orifice looks when you're looking at it from the inside of the stomach.
It's all a sphincter.
Yeah, but it's so sphincter-like.
But it is a sphincter.
It is a sphincter. We have many sphincters over our bodies, not just the obvious one.
Yep, not just the anus.
Yeah, there's lots of people inside with him who are all dying, shouting out for their mummy. Mummy! And in his moment of grief and thinking he's going to die and he can't protect his friends, Erin just suddenly bursts and turns into a Titan. ripping
he's just
Santa Claus
like,
Titan
I'm
from the
going
inside
to
out.
destroy them all. I'm going to kill them all. I'm not going to die here. I'm going to kill them.
That is basically this whole chapter is just
Kill,
Eren,
kill.
as a huge Titan, killing other Titans, going, I'm going to kill them all. Occasionally flicking over to like stoned-looking normal Eren, saying the same thing.
All right. So we've got about 15 minutes to finish this entire chapter. I mean, this entire arc. So we're going to have to double up the speed. So there's when Eren rips out of that Titan, there's this one panel where Armin's in the background crying. And I'm just like, Armin, just look to the right. Like, you'll see some crazy shit.
Come on, Armin, have a look.
Why is there an arm coming out of that guy's mouth?
It's just so good. And then, and then we have... and then everyone runs. Yeah, everyone wants to kill Eren.
Yeah. So when Eren wakes up from coming out of the Titan, the first thing he says is, "I'll kill you all," and it's because he's still like thinking about like killing Titans, and they're all like, "Okay." Like he's surrounded by military police, and they're like, "He's going to kill us all. Like he's clearly the bad guy here. You guys see this, right?"
Yeah, he was a Titan. You all know this. And there's some sort of general with a beard on top of the wall shouting at them, saying, "I'm going to ask you some questions. Answer clearly." And he's just like, "Okay."
It's like,
are you
man
human?
Or are you Titan?
It's like, I'm a human. It's like, well, fuck that. I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
And I put here Uber Misaka as well, because she's just like, if any of you go near Eren, I'm going to fucking kill a lot of you.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them who visibly take a step back, despite the fact she's still just a freshly graduated trainee. They're like, oh, okay. And then we have the secret sex dungeon key.
Yep.
Flashback.
Yeah. So you want to explain this? What do you think's happening?
So Eren basically, so Misaka picks up Eren to take him, like, to try and protect him and maybe run away from the whole scene that's going on. This captain's about to stick a cannon in their ass, and the key falls out from Eren's necklace, so he can see it, and it triggers a memory, which is a flashback of his dad giving him the injection, saying the injection is going to fuck with your memory, son. But when you see this key, remember, you need to use the power to keep everybody safe. And he has a little sort of weird thing, bites his hand, and boom, transforms into half of a giant Titan, just as the cannonball hits Misaka and Armin. And basically puts the arm out. The cannonball sort of kills off the Titan body mid-transformation, but it was enough to protect the three of them from the blast of it. Mm-hmm. And they're sort of all inside the rib cage of this giant beast.
So real quick, back to the memory. Eren's dad says this one line, and I wanted to see what you thought about it. He says, "Their memories will teach you how to use it."
Yeah, use what? His penis? I assume he's talking about his penis.
Maybe.
So the memories.
Whose memories?
I don't know. But this person's memories is going to teach him how to use his penis when he gets into the sex dungeon.
Yep.
Cool.
You're really sticking with the sex dungeon thing.
So they're basically there. So our little trio are basically safe, and then we go to what I like to call Titan fishing, where they've got the huge net covering the hole to the next town, which has got spikes on it, and all the Titans just walking against it. So I like to think they're trying to catch the Titans in the net. And then, meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom, we go back to HQ, where everyone's being really depressed, and then we get a second rebirth of Evan.
Evan.
Evan's getting a rebirth character. After Jessica has given his booty a ruining. Spoilers for this week's. Too young for this hit. So Eren rebirths himself out the back of the Titan and says, "I need to get to my dad's sex dungeon." And then Armin tries to talk everyone out of killing them all, despite the fact he just turned into a Titan in front of their eyes. I would be like, yeah, kill that fucker. But then Commander Pixis turns up to stop the idiocy that's going on. And then they all jump onto the wall to have a private chat with Commander Pixis. And they come up with a plan on using Eren's Titan ability to pick up a huge rock to plug the hole so that they can retake the Trost District.
Yeah, so one thing about that huge rock that I didn't realize until rereading this is I thought that rock just happened to be there. Like, there was just a big rock, but they put that rock there in case that they broke through so then they could fill the hole, but they didn't think, like, they had a way to get the rock there, but not a way to get the rock from there to the hole.
Yeah, I thought that was really dumb.
Yeah.
Because I think... Yeah, because they said, like, well, we got the rock here, but we don't have the technology to move it into the hole. But we put it here just in case. Yeah. I know, it's just like, it makes no sense. I think in the anime, they literally just explained it as, oh, this is a piece of rock that fell here.
Yeah, so basically, Isayama uses, like, the anime it's, like, his final version of the story.
I know.
So, yeah.
It's so funny though, because it's just like literally I was just like, that is just the dumbest thing. How did you get it there? Where did it come from? Like, you wouldn't have been able to fit it through the gate.
But how? But maybe they just used a bunch of horses.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have fit through the gate, so they must have got it from inside the district somewhere.
That's a good point.
So weird. But yeah, he basically gives out the story. We're gonna use Eren here, and he's gonna plug the hole with his knob, and then everyone starts to go, nah, fuck this. I'm going to desert. And so they all start to, it all starts to get very tense. They all start to fight each other because deserters in this land get killed.
Yep.
The punishment for deserting is death. So one bloke pulls out his sword to kill a bunch of deserters. And then Commander Pixis says, no one who leaves will get killed. Okay? You're free from that law for the next 10 minutes. But if you do leave, you're a giant pussy. And everyone's just like, hey, I'm not a fucking pussy.
Yeah. So when you said nope just then and Commander Pixis, I thought you were going to talk about this other line. And I was like, this makes no sense to talk about it here. But he says at one point, he's looking over the wall at the Titans and he says, nope, still don't spot one. I really wouldn't mind being eaten as long as it was by a stunningly beautiful lady Titan.
I think it's Thin Lady Titan, isn't it? It's so weird. I remember just being
stunningly beautiful lady Titan.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I read that, and then the story just carries on. I was just like, no, I'm just going to carry on too.
Which I know what happens later on, so I wonder if that was meant as foreshadowing.
Possibly. So is Commander Pixis more involved than we think? Anyway, yeah, so I'm like, leave you fucks. But yeah, they all turn around just like, yeah. So the idea is, you can go spend your time with your family and your daughters, but eventually the Titans are going to break in and then they're going to eat your family and daughters. I'm just like, oh yeah, that's why I joined the Suicide Squad, because I want to protect my family. All
right, so we've got 10 minutes left.
Yeah,
so
cool.
Eren jumps off the wall and goes, we're going to do an attack on the Titans. And he's like, I just said the title of the show almost.
With an S.
Yep. And then he transforms into a Titan and starts punching Mikasa.
Yeah. So Mikasa seems to think it's from all the healing that he's been doing as a Titan that he can't quite get his sort of like shit together. So he starts attacking Mikasa. Mikasa lands on his face. He punches his face, falls over onto the rock because he punches half of his face off. I just love that bit. I thought it was so funny. But yeah, everyone's been ordered to protect Eren. So Eren just falls to the floor, and is basically out of action within a minute. Mm-hmm. Within a minute, he's attacked his best friend and fallen over because he can't quite control his Titan self as well as he thinks he can. So everyone, they're all fighting for their lives, and Armin just lands on his back and just stabs him through the arm.
Yep.
Yep. Puts a sword through the Titan.
Save you.
I'm going to save you. So I think he was going to try and cut Eren out, but he stabs through the back of the neck of Titan Eren, which, because Eren's in the back of the Titan, in his neck, his sword goes straight through his arm.
Yep.
He's like, you fuck. And then, Armin's just basically shouting at Eren, and Eren's sort of in a weird dream state where he thinks Armin's banging on the window while he's trying to sleep. And he's just like, come on, you need to fight, you need to help us. And then eventually, just while Mikasa's out fighting all these other Titans, she just suddenly hears this big explosion and she sees Titan Eren standing up with a huge boulder on his shoulder. And then he slowly walks forward and forward, ever so slowly, with this huge boulder. And then there's a nice scene where we see his butt cheeks.
Yep.
He's complaining that his ankles are going to snap, but all we can see is his bum.
Yeah, that's definitely going on the thumbnail. Aaron's butt cheeks as a Titan.
Yep. And then he just creeps up closer and closer, the inner monologue of, I'm going to fucking kill all these fucking Titans, and then throws the stone into the hole. Dun, dun, dun.
And that's it. But so let's go back for a second. So Aaron has a couple of catchphrases. There's one where he's just like, fight, fight, fight. That's like his big thing. But he's also this whole thing about just being born. So when he's in the weird dream sequence, Armin asks him, like, why do you want to go out into this hellish landscape? Like, you've always wanted to go out there. And Aaron's answer is, that's obvious, isn't it? It's because I was born into this world. So,
yes, which is very strange.
So that's a big theme. Like, you'll see it recurring pretty often.
Yeah, Aaron wants to kill all the Titans because he wants to, this is his world, this is his planet. He wants to go out. He shouldn't be penned into this pig pen that they're in. I keep saying pig pen. What about Caltroff?
Oh, so we skipped over one of my favorite things.
Yep.
Let's see.
One of my favourite bits was, I think it was at the end of chapter 5, where there was finally like a Google map of the area that we're looking at. So up until now, they've always shown like a sort of a small cartoonish section of the area where it just shows like 3 walls with the little building with the little cities around it on each wall. But this was like an actual like satellite view. So it's just like, now I understand. Yeah, there's loads of farmland away from the cities, and there's a huge open area.
Mm-hmm. So I found what I was talking about. So when Aaron is trying to move that boulder, there's some people like trying to distract the other Titans. And one of them yells, hey, look over here. If you don't turn around, I'm going to stick my blade right up your stinking ass. And I was just like, he knows about their second weak point too.
Oh my God. Everyone knows about the second weak point. How are the Titans?
A real thing? Because,
how are the Titans surviving?
That's why we get that close-up of Aaron's butt.
That's why we get the close-up of the butt. That's why we get the the other thing. God, that close-up of the butt is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it the blonde guy who says it? Oh.
No, it's a random guy. I think there's this guy talking about his daughter. I think it's him.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember the guy. Because he was one who was talking about deserting as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah,
I think at the end of the chapter, Levi shows up.
Yes, he does, because they pull. So we get a third rebirth of Eren. Mikasa and Armin turn up to pull him out of the back of the Titan, out of the back of Titan Eren's neck, because he basically collapses after throwing the stone into the wall. And then there's a load of Titans running over to eat them, and that's when Captain Levi turns up and kills them all. He's just like, yeah, I am the superhero around here.
Yeah, and they refer to him as the Wings of Freedom.
Yeah, and then we get an awesome scene of him.
That's cool.
Now, I think Captain Levi kind of looks a bit like Malfoy, but with dark hair.
Yeah, I can see that. He's got like that. His face is just like emotionless and like intense at the same time.
You mean actorless? I've just got a blank face. Yeah. So, what did you think of the arc?
I think this is one of the strongest arcs. Like, it's definitely got like some of the most action.
Yeah,
like,
it's pure
Eren
action.
like ripping people apart. It's great. What about you?
Yeah, I loved it. It was just all action. You got lots of nice Spider-Man stuff, people flying around. I thought it was really good. We haven't got too in-depth into the story yet, but it's gradually foreshadowing strangeness. Yeah. So we've still got the strangeness of the sex dungeon. We've got the fact that, because they even mentioned this, the fact that the giant titan, the Colossus, every time it turns up, I think Eren mentions it when he's trying to kill it. Like, it knows that it's going for the gate, so it's showing intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that as he's trying to kill it. So we've got some small foreshadowing of things to come, and that it's not quite as simple as at some point a load of humans mutated into giant humans and seem to want to eat other humans. It's not quite your standard zombie story.
Yep, but we also now have the added in element of, it seems like Eren's dad turned him into a Titan.
Yeah, or gave him the control to turn himself into a Titan.
Yeah,
but it's so strange because he doesn't actually turn into a Titan. It's like he grows a Titan body around himself.
Yeah.
because we see that when he stops the cannonball and it's just like this big shell, but he's always kind of in the back and it looks like his arms have been absorbed into the Titan.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool. So yeah, we've got a lot of plot stuff coming on.
So let's see. Well, I'm going to ask you the questions. So, what's in the basement? You're still saying it's sex dungeon?
I'm still saying it's a sex dungeon.
Okay. So where do you think Aaron's dad is? Do you think he's just in the basement?
No, I assume he's gone to another sex dungeon somewhere else.
Okay.
I assume he's got a backup sex dungeon.
It's like the end of Mario. Instead of, I'm sorry, but the princess is in another castle.
I'm sorry, your victims are in another dungeon.
I was going to say, I'm sorry, your dad's in another sex dungeon. Your daddy's in another sex dungeon. We're putting that on a shirt. So what do you think's up with the syringe? Like,
well, I think that does seem to be pushing you towards the fact that there's some sort of genealogy like stuff in there that he's using to inject Eren so that he has the ability to become a Titan.
okay.
That seems fairly cut and paste at the moment.
All
Whether
right.
that's the case, I don't know.
And let's see. So what do you think's going on with the whole 2,000 years from now bit? Any ideas yet?
I still think Jesus will be born in 2,000 years.
Okay. We'll see. Could be.
I haven't got any more crazy fan theories about that yet.
And,
So, either it's talking to us or it's talking to Jesus, both of which seem crazy.
or it could be both. What if you are Jesus?
Oh, no, that's true. That's canon.
It's canon now.
Yeah.
Bill is Jesus.
Or Bleezus, as they call me.
Jesus. All right. And so, last question. What is Aaron's daydream about? Remember that first scene?
Under the tree,
Yeah.
where a girl was talking to him.
Yep.
I had no idea. It still seems like Mikasa just telling him his soup's ready.
So we have a flashback to that scene from Mikasa's point of view within this arc, and she's like, if I die, I won't even be able to remember you. And we see that scene where he couldn't remember anything. So, yeah. And I'm going to throw in one more connecting piece, but like one more little tentacle out there for you. So, Aaron's dad tells him when he injects him with the stuff that it affects his memory.
Yeah.
And Aaron keeps having these dreams that he can't remember. So what's going on there? We don't know.
Don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I assume it's all to do with the Titan stuff. I find it weird that he has to bite his hand to become a Titan.
Yeah.
I assume, especially, and that then makes me think: how did he turn into a Titan inside Santa Claus Titan? Because he didn't have a hand.
He had one hand.
Yeah, but
He
it's
was
not the
only
hand.
missing the left one.
Yeah, but I think he always bites the left one.
Tyler, I need a blanket.
Hold on one second. Why do you need a blanket?
What is this house?
Can I not bring it out there in a second?
I have to leave in a minute.
Okay.
Thank you. Coffee and breakfast are by your lunchbox.
Okay.
Although I've got no fan theories on the blanket, I'm afraid.
Yeah, my wife said the door psst, psst, psst. We have this weird door that it doesn't align so it can't shut. So we just had to put those little chain locks on each side of it because we have our ferrets in here and we have to keep them away from the cats. So I have it locked from the inside so she couldn't come in and grab the blanket. All right, so where were we? Well, I forgot. You have no fan theories about something. No, the blanket.
Yeah, no theories about blanket. I think we were pretty much done. I think we just need to wrap up.
Okay, so next arc is a short one. I'm kind of confused because it's chapters 15 through 18, which should be 4 chapters, but the wiki says it's 5 chapters. So there might be another 0.5 chapter in there somewhere. I'm not sure.
So 15 to 18, yeah?
Yep, and that is a flashback to the 104th training arc.
Yep, there's an 18.5.
Okay.
So we need
Makes
to do
sense.
15 to 18.5.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, yeah, that is nice and short. So, again, guys, if you like the show, please rate and review us. I think, do we have a Twitter?
We do have a Twitter. It's
Yay.
at Coordinate Pod. So you can tweet us there. You can email us. I think it's coordinatepod@gmail.com. And please, like, if you've got any questions you want to ask Bill, like any fan theories you want to see, like what he's thinking, even if it's something that we have an answer to already, but he's behind, like tweet in those, email those. I'll send spoilers, but I'll make sure Bill doesn't see them.
No, not spoilers.
You can email spoilers, don't tweet spoilers. I don't think you can see the email.
I can.
Okay, well don't.
I've got them on my phone.
Bill, don't check the email. There might be spoilers in there.
Okay, I'll try not to check the email.
Okay, so that's it. Until next time, Bill's got a new podcast you can listen to him on.
Oh, yep, the bestiary, bestiary.
Yes, the bestiary. But you
Bestiary.
pronounce it bestiary for at least the first 7 episodes.
Yes, at least. I think we'll just make it canon in future.
Yeah.
Cool. All right then. And Tyler has released another episode of Too Young for This Hit, where he's in season 2, where he now reviews one episode of a TV program.
Yep.
And unfortunately, during the process of which, Evan gets his bum ruined.
Yes, the second weak point.
Yes, the second weak point. All right, then, guys.
All right.
I'm off to eat Troy.
I'm off to work.
I'll go back to it. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Podcasters Assemble! Podcasters Assemble Season 2 is a hype/rewatch podcast that's reviewing every movie in the Star Wars Skywalker saga and a countdown to the release of Episode 9. As with Season 1, where we covered all of the films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we want to hear from you about your favorite things in the Star Wars films. You can submit audio for just one of the movies in the Skywalker saga, or you can send in an audio file for every single one. Talk about what you love about the film, your favorite light side moment versus dark side moment, or your favorite music cue, your favorite quote, or your favorite ship or vehicle in the movie. If you go to probablywork.com and look for Podcasters Assemble, you'll find these instructions as well as a link on where to go to submit your audio. In order to make sure we have time to edit everything, we're looking for you to submit your audio a couple days before that. So the deadline for the first episode is going to be October 20th. And then it's weekly after that. So for episode 2, it's October 27th and so on from there. Again, you can find the schedule and all of this information at probablywork.com. Whether you're a podcaster, a YouTuber, a streamer, or just a fan of Star Wars, we want to hear from you. So head to probablywork.com or look up @Casters Assemble on Twitter and share your thoughts about Star Wars.
This has been a presentation
of the We Can Make This Work
Probably Network.
Follow us on Twitter
@probablywork
For more of our questionable content.
Also, we have a website called probablywork.com.